When great empire of Britain falled, it became war zone for great nation of Saxons. Britain was divided into many lands, and in all of these chaos, Vortigern, avatar of White Dragon, killed Oter Pendragon, greatest king in all of Britain. Young Artoria, daughter of King Oter, was kept hidden, until Wizard Merlin, most trusted person to King Oter, declared that whoever draw the sword of selection from the stone shall become new kings. And as you must know, young Artoria draw the legendary sword, and she became wielder of Caliburn. Well, until she no longer was. Long story short, Morgan, the fairy queen, who was actually Artoria's sister, stealed the Caliburn. But lucky for Artoria, the fairies gave her even a better sword, Excaliburn. This baby, which was forged within planet's inner sea, is a divine construct, meant to even destroy being which threatened to destroy planet. And well, after defeating Saxons 12 times, Artoria's reign of peace finally clicked to start. Until it wasn't. So after figuring out that she has son, and like any other lovely father, ignoring her son with all her power, it all came down to battle in Camlan, and after a lovely duel which resulted in death of both father and son, Artoria made pact with Counterforce. Counterforce is like police station, but for threats in history of mankind, and its enforcers are servants, protectors of humanity in all of timelines and history. In order for gaining the Holy Grail, Artoria accepted to become a servant, in order to fulfill her wish, which was erasing herself from history, so that a better chosen one come out and save Britain. So this began Artoria's journey in Multiverse of Madness. Because lucky or not, unlike other servants who actually died, Artoria can remember her previous materializations, meaning she can remember every time she tried to take the Holy Grail and failed, an omnipotent wish granting device. But she isn't so much of losers. In fact, while in reality Artoria is not like other servants, and she is actually alive, just barely before her death. She is one of top tier servants. She has a high rank in her instinct skill to the point of bordering on precognition, allowing her to avoid fatal blows such as Kuzgebalg. She can use invisible air, which acts as a sheath of wind for Excalibur, rendering it invisible, and she can release it as an attack. It can even form a defensive wall of air, in case Saber needs. Saber can also use regeneration a mid-low level. She managed to regenerate from being severely injured and nearly killed by Aya, and from Gilgamesh cutting through her neck. Has also regenerated getting pierced by Gebulg in the chest, and from her battle with Berserker, like comparable servants like Ku. She must be able to continue fighting even with a hole through their gut, and can regenerate, unless their head or heart or spirit core is being destroyed, or run out of mana. While Saber is not rider, but she can ride any vehicle or mount with supernatural skill, allowing her to ride on any vehicle or animals, excluding demonic ones. She can apply mana burst to vehicles, which increase their speed highly. She has B rank luck, which can change Saber's fate, this ability which allow to evade inevitable outcomes, such as having her heart be destroyed by Gebulg. Saber managed to fight against and kill Lancelot, who stated to be comparable to Gawain, toughest of Round Table, despite being weaker in the 5th Holy Grail War. Due to Shirou being unable to provide her with more mana, she can still fight and overpower Lancer, and even trade blows with Berserker, and parry his swings with mana burst, just barely of course. Artoria's trump card is an A++ rank noble phantasm. It's stronger than Siegfried Zoraid's A+ rank. Which is among most high tier level noble phantasms in series. Saber possesses a B rank agility, making her comparable to the likes of Musashi. Well, scaling that to understandable speed level is kinda of hard, but we can understand that her speed must be below light speed, since Musashi barely could hold her ground against Grease siblings. Diaskiri. Saber is extremely durable. She should be comparable to Gawain, who survived this attack.
That strike he endured was death itself. The fact that he somehow survived it shall be Sir Gawain's pardon.
Saber is extreme high level combatant. She fought against Vortigern for several hours straight, but ate from power, Saber is not only missiles. Saber is an extremely accomplished swordswoman suitable for her class, clashing with even the strongest heroes in swordplay. Few laying claims to have better swordsmanship than her. Becoming the king of a prosperous nation at the age of 14, she is a skilled politician and an able leader. She can effectively lead armies into battle and governing most of Britain by the end of her rule. She is also knowledgeable of magic, having been Merlin's apprentice in her youth, although, despite all of that, she can make some hasty decisions, which can easily end her own life, and even her master, Shirou. But if that's not enough, there is more to it. The chivalry code binds Saber as a knight, and she'd thus never rely on underhanded or more pragmatic tactics. Blame Jen, Yorubachi all you want, that's now within her law. Her sixth sense can be fooled by things that Saber has never experienced. Unlike other servants, Saber isn't a proper heroic spirit, possessing a physical body that cannot go into spirit form. She harbors a great deal of self-loathing and regrets over her actions, and perceived failures as the king of Britain, which can be exploited to rile her up or break her mentally. Blame Jen again. Losing the ability to use one of her hands properly will prevent her from using Excalibur to its fullest potential, reducing its range to that of an anti-unit noble phantasm, and weakening it considerably. Blame Jen again. Well, like many servants, Saber must hide her identity. She use a mysterious wind that hides Excalibur light, rendering Excalibur completely invisible and its shape near impossible to discern, keeping her opponents confused and unable to properly gauge its size and length, or even what kind of weapon it is. Once they figure it out, however, it becomes useless in this regard. It takes on Excalibur's sharp edge, and Saber can use it to form a defensive wall of wind large enough to envelop a building. Once the barrier is released, the compressed wind surges around her and can be released as a single-shot weapon. She can also use it to propel herself forwards at greater speeds. On next, King Arthur's most beloved sword. It is a crystallization of humanity's wishes forged by the planet itself. Much like Excalibur Proto, it is a weapon designed to protect the Earth from the threat of chaos and destruction. Due to its incredible potential for devastation, its real power is restricted by multiple oaths. When activated, it converts Saber's magical power into light that is then released as a destructive wave of energy on the level of divine. Despite this function's appearance, only the tip of this energy wave can do damage, as the rest of the light emitted by Excalibur is the dislocation of everything it has destroyed along its path. Excalibur also boasts one of the fastest activation speeds among noble phantasms, matching the charging speed of both the original Pegasus, completing its activation in less than a second. Saber has also demonstrated the ability to partially invoke Excalibur's power in both melee combat. Excalibur's sheath is also a divine construct of the same origin. Passively, Avalon bestows immortality and regeneration upon its wielder. They stop aging and can regenerate even from blows that remove most of their torso and heart. It cannot, however, restore a destroyed brain. Its real power is in its active use as an absolute defense. It puts the user in Avalon, the land of the fairies, the unreachable utopia that the king strived to reach in life. It dissipates into magical particles and becomes a portable fortress that blocks off any interference, even up to the 6th dimension. It is on the level of true magic, and not even the 5 magics can bypass the barrier. However, Saber no longer access to Avalon upon materializations. As a servant, Artoria doesn't possess Avalon, since she lost it in life and is yet to die and ascend to the throne of heroes. However, the genuine article still exists in the present, serving as her catalyst. Saber has high-level durability toward magic, the ability that grants protection against magical effects. Unlike the resistance effect that merely rejects magical energy, this ability cancels the magic altogether. Due to possessing the blood of dragons, Saber has a stellar A rank in this ability, rendering her virtually invulnerable to all modern magi spells and even of casters from the Age of Gods. This also applies to indirect magic attacks, such as magical hypnosis, petrification. Saber has also received the blessings of Vivian, the Lady of the Lake, who bestowed Excalibur to the young king. As a result, she can walk on water, as if it were solid ground without any movement speed or traction change. However, she does not know how to swim because of this blessing until Shirou taught her later. Although many of Saber's abilities became less effective due to Shirou's inability to provide her with sufficient mana, but if anything, Saber surely has enough power to prove she is one of first heroines of type Moon.